before I get started on this mini Q&A number 65, I have two possible announcements to make. I You guys have inspired me so much for the last Q&A when it came to MK characters versus versus any WWE superstar. Kind of inspired me to possibly make a video about that. I haven't really got the entire topic together yet, but it kind of inspired me to do something based on that because that is kind of a cool creative way of thinking. And my second video announcement is I just saw WWE Countdown about the Dangerous Divas, and I just kind of find it a bit insulting. You know, I didn't like the number one at all. I didn't like their whole countdown or anything else like that. There were some things that I agreed on, but the number one I did not. So I'm probably gonna make my own video, my own top 10 list of Dangerous Divas and who I believe should be at number one. I don't know when I'm gonna put it up. Countdowns take a while, so stay tuned to that for those that are interested and actually care about the divas. Well, more like I do. But anyway, y'all, this is a mini Q&A. Let's get started. I actually have two people who are awesome that sends me questions, but I have a lot to go over. So let's get started with my first set of questions that comes from Final Limits. Dude, you are awesome. You're like one of my best supporters. Thank you so much for sending me these questions. What do you think? What did you think of Billy and Chuck tag team in 2002? I thought they were unique. I thought they were something different for the time. We never really expected to have a gay tag team before, even though they weren't technically gay, but they kind of, portrayed themselves as being gay. And I actually thought that was something different, pretty creative and pretty cool. And the fact they were able to get away with all that was even more awesome. So it will really be kind of neat to see that again, but I doubt that we are. What did you think of Heidenreich? Heidenreich was. I'm all about the heels. I'm all about the heels because there's no restrictions for the heels, and Heidenreich had no restrictions at all. And one of the best feuds in his career, in my opinion, was his feud against The Undertaker. And especially in the casket match that he had. I think it was either King of the Ring or the Royal Rumble. I can't remember. But if whoever remembers what that pay-per-view is, leave a comment in the comment section below because I completely forgot. I just went blank. But anyway, that was one of his best feuds in my opinion. His feud that he had with The Undertaker. And I loved Heidenreich. I thought he was downright crazy but pretty interesting to watch. What is the best thing about Daniel Bryan? He's relatable. I mean, you can honestly get behind somebody that you can really relate to. And he had everything in the kitchen sink thrown at him. And a lot of people in this day and age is going through that, a lot of adversity, whether or not it's at school, at work, or whatever. And if you look at Daniel Bryan, you kind of see, some people see themselves in him, and seeing him be triumphant and what he wants to do and end up becoming champion makes everybody else that are rooting for him feel like champions. So he's relatable for that reason. And a lot of people respect him because he is relatable. But that's just me. Is Cena making the WWE more crap than it already is by inserting himself into every single storyline that doesn't involve him? No. He's not making it crap. They're doing that all by themselves, to be honest with you. But with John Cena, if you were from my era, then you would probably understand what I'm talking about. Not saying that you don't. But in the 80s, you kind of knew kayfabe was something that was hardcore. Like, you could not break character at all, not even in public. You had to be your character all the time, even in the street. When it comes to John Cena is the last of the true baby faces. He stays exactly how the babyface role is supposed to be. Truth, justice, and the American way, always does what's right, always comes out for a fight. And that's exactly what a babyface does. And that is what he's representing. So even when he sees injustice that has nothing related to him, if he sees injustice with either a friend or a person or a coworker, he's going to come out and say something. And that's really what a true babyface does. So I'm not going to hate on him on that. But I don't think he's making it crap for that reason. It's just his character. What do you think of the oddities? Dang, it's been a minute since I've seen the oddities. I can barely remember how they are. That's something I'm going to have to go back and watch. Top 5 favorite black wrestlers. Oh boy. Okay. I wasn't around when Tony Atlas was out, but I had a chance to actually see him perform, and Tony Atlas is now my favorite. So I'll put Tony Atlas on that list. I definitely have to say Ron Simmons. He's definitely memorable for that one word that everybody remembers. Let me see. Of course, The Rock. And even though The Rock is Samoan, the guy is African American. He got black in him too. So I'm gonna put The Rock up in there. Definitely Mark Henry. Mark Henry has played probably one of the most, oh gosh, intimidating heels I have seen in a very long time. Like he literally made you absolutely downright scared of him with every word that came out of his mouth. So I'm definitely gonna have to say Mark Henry. So I think so far that's four. I like D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown had a lot of flavor to him when he was actually in WWE before he went to TNA. He had a lot of flavor to him, and I actually liked him back then. But I know that he left because of what happened to Droz, and unfortunately, it was his botched up move that kind of got him paralyzed, and I know that he left after that happened. But even though he went to TNA, when he went to TNA, he was a lot more docile. I like D'Lo Brown coming out shaking his neck and as having that attitude. I kind of like D'Lo Brown. So those are my five black wrestlers that I absolutely like. And I know people gonna think, oh, what about R-Truth? R-Truth ain't bad, but he's not one of my top five. But anyway, top five favorite Asian wrestlers. Oh man, I don't think I know that many. I don't think I know that many. Of course, I guess I have to name the only five that I can remember: Funaki, Kenzo Suzuki, Taka Michinoku. Who else was there that was Asian? Good grief. I can't remember. Those are the only three Asian guys that I remember. If you remember the other two, by all means fill it in, because that's the only three I remember. Sorry. I can't remember the last one that was just released. I can't remember his name. Top five favorite divas. Okay, I'm actually going to do my top 10 divas list. So instead of actually answering your questions, just stay tuned to that video because I don't want to give anything away. And you'll find out my top 10 divas when I actually do that video, whenever I put it up, and I put it on my Wrestling Fan Nation page. What would Bray Wyatt's second fatality be in a Mortal Kombat game? Second fatality. What would his first fatality be would be the question. Bray Wyatt would probably call the buzzards. Like, he's always follow the buzzards. He'll probably, like, literally send some buzzards and, like, have him peck you to pieces. Like, seriously. They'll probably eat and gnaw and tear out your flesh until there's nothing left. I think his second fatality is probably called Follow the Buzzards. And the buzzards will probably come down and just tear down your opponent's flesh like it's nothing. Like it's tissue paper. Leaving nothing but like bones and blood and everywhere. That's the only thing I can think of with his fatality, but his second fatality, I don't know what I don't know what his first fatality would be. That's something that's kind of interesting. But yeah, man, great question. Thoughts of Justin Bieber when he said the N word as a parody and in his song multiple times when he was 15. I don't care. I really don't care much for Justin Bieber at all. It's only a matter of time until he's deported back to Canada. I can care less about that guy. But great set of questions for me, man. My final set of questions comes from Shuro Roro Hiro. I gotta ask Cream Crazy how to pronounce this, because I hate having to say your name wrong. I want to be able to say it right, and I'm wondering if Cream Crazy knows how to say your name. He probably does. But anyway, thanks for sending me questions, man. Your first question for me is, ever plan on playing RPG games? I just can't get into them. Like, they're way too technical. I guess because I have no patience. I don't have patience for a lot of stuff, especially games that are semi-complicated. And I know that with RPG games, they're kind of strategic. There's a way of doing this and that. There's some RPG games that I liked, especially when it came to the only RPG I've ever played was Final Fantasy VIII. That was the only RPG I've ever played, and that was the only one I was ever interested in, because not only did I love the cutscenes, it kind of made it fun. Like the way that they set up the game wasn't so complicated and it kind of made it fun. My sister loves RPGs, but I guess I just can't get into them. That's just me. You know, I'm just not that patient, and I'm not really planning on getting any. I'm kind of over the whole Final Fantasy thing, so I really don't plan on getting any, but I'm not going to count anything out. You know, especially if one catches my eye. Because I am planning someday to get an Xbox One, and if they have a decent RPG that's out, I might get it. Who knows? Um, what did you think of Alicia Fox when she was a face in 2012 and 2011? Didn't really care. No, I really didn't consider her a face at all, and plus it was so random. What do you think of Alicia Fox when she was Diva Champion in 2010? Thought it was a fluke. But let's be real, it was a fluke. I didn't really buy her championship reign at all. I didn't even buy her win at all, which is sad. It just felt like a fluke. What did you think when Alicia Fox made her debut in 2008? If I can remember. Oh yeah, she was a homewrecker. She was a home wrecking wedding assistant, or wedding planner, whatever. The only thing, and I know this is probably a shallow way of thinking, the only thing that kind of got me paying attention to her was her bad wig. Like, her wig was all the way back here, and it just bothered me. Her bad weave job bothered me so bad. I don't know. Yes, I'm from Atlanta, and let's face it, that's the hair care capital of the world. Everybody who's there is a beautician or a barber. So, so honestly, yeah, I was focused on her bad weave job. But her weave has improved since then. But that was the only thing that I focused on was her bad weave. I know it's terrible and really shallow of me, but that's yeah, that's what I thought, and that's the only thing I thought. What do you think of Alicia Fox's meltdowns? Um, I don't care for them. I think they're juvenile, and I think she can come up with something more original to set her apart from all the others. She doesn't have to be crazy in order to stand out. That's just me. What if Alicia Fox was acting like that in real life? I would just tell her, good grief, woman, just take a break. Take a long break and get your mind together. Because if you're having a meltdown every day, that's something that you really need to start thinking about, and just take a break, a vacation, a long one. And thoughts on Gail Kim. I love Gail Kim. She was a very fierce woman with a great personality, and she was even better as a heel. I love Gail Kim. I have no idea if she's still on TNA right now, but I do know this: she was an even better heel on TNA than she ever was in WWE. But I will say that her literally eliminating herself on purpose for the Divas Battle Royal, I guess maybe it was for the Royal Rumble, was just stupid and shallow. But she's a pretty good heel. I won't deny that. But y'all, thank you so much for sending me these questions. If you guys have any more questions for me, by all means send it to me via YouTube or at Twitter at RKH30 hashtag Nature Girl Q&A. And I will try to get my top 10 video up sometime either the end of this month or the beginning of July. Either or is going to come out soon. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Thanks y'all for sending so many questions, and please keep them coming. Peace out, y'all. Later.